Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So on Monster Strike, with the update yesterday, we got a few new features, and then we got the Doraemon collaboration. So let's have a look at those. We'll go into the Monsterpedia first, and then let's look at the previous Doraemon monsters, just to give us some context, and also to make me sad, since I don't have any of them. But the first one here is Hero Doraemon. And yeah, when he first came out, most people ignored him. They didn't make the max luck of him. And actually, it was also very difficult to make him. You had to play a lot of like the normal quests and pull the Friends Hatcher, I think it was. So few people actually ended up making up the max luck of him. And then when Marishten came around, everyone immediately regretted it. But he is a Pierce with a Flight and Null Damage Wall, and that's pretty good. There are still no maybe fire monsters with that combination, so yeah, very special for that. Stats are a little low overall. That's a pattern that we're going to see with all of the Doraemon monsters. And then looks like he's got a Tackle Strike Shot and then an Energy Circle bump combo. Neither of which are too good, but it's the Sling Style and the Null abilities that are really special about this guy. Okay, then next up was Dora Zombie, the zombie version of Doraemon. And this is probably the most famous and the most loved of all of the Doraemons. He's really strong. If you played the English version, he was kind of replicated in Chainbound Jack, that Halloween character. Stats again pretty low, but he's a Pierce with Flight and no Gravity Barrier. That's a very versatile combination. He has the Lock-on Pierce Wave, which is one of the best bump combos for a drop monster. And then he has a Meteor Strike Shot. And that's really nice for him because he is a Pierce and also no Gravity Barrier, so it's pretty easy for him to hit lots of guys. If I could have any of the max lucks from my old English account, it might be this guy. Alright, and then third up is... here we are. This is the Water Doraemon, and this is from last year, I believe. And he has the best stats of all of the Doraemons, I would say. HP is so-so, and then speed is pretty decent, I guess, 350. And then he's got another Null ability, another Pierce with a Null Damage Wall, Null Block, and a Blast Bump combo. And yeah, those, double Null abilities with the Pierce, with the decent speed, with the Blast Bump combo, makes him one of the better max lucks to use with Pandora to pull that bump combo around, so he's really good for that. And then the explosion on first contact strike shot. So yeah, wish I had this guy as well. Wish I had all of them. But anyway, let's look at the current one. And this is Captain Doraemon. He might be the best of all of the Doraemons so far. Stats are low again, but he is a Pierce with Null Damage Wall and then Null Magic Circle. Very few drop monsters have Null Magic Circle. And even fewer are Pierce. I think it's like Dinah and maybe some other collaboration character. But yeah, very rare ability. And then he has a 12-turn Null Everything Strike Shot, which is pretty crazy. Not as good as the 8-turn, of course. He'll have a higher multiplier to speed and attack, but the frequency is going to be much less. The thing about the 8-turn Null Everything Strike Shot is that it almost feels like you have it every turn, for some reason. The 12-turn definitely does not feel like that, but still very useful. And then him being a Pierce, and then also the Dark Element with a Null Damage Wall, and then the Null Everything Strike Shot. He might be the most versatile max luck in the game. Like, he's rivaling Eden. He's up there. He's pretty crazy. And then on top of all of that, he's got the bump combo. I guess I'll call it the Chevron Shot. But it's the same as Brutus and Perry. But yeah, very good damage for a drop monster's bump combo. And just for this bump combo, I would say that it is worth getting 3 of Captain Doraemon. Just because you can use them all on the same team, and then all of those bump combos together will do big damage. It's one of the better bump combos to use as a team. Alright, and then there's a gold version of him available as well. And the way you get this guy, maybe there will be a chest which appears in the silver maybe Long John Silver quest, where you farm for Doraemon. If you can take down that chest in a certain number of turns, then you'll get the drop of the gold Doraemon. And then, yeah, as we can see, the gold Doraemon is 3240, the number, and then the red one is 3239. So these are different monsters. You could make the max luck of both, and then get the credit for both the max luck bonus and the spirit quests. This might be worth your time, because the silver quest is not difficult. It doesn't take a long time. And then there's many appearances of the quest. The rest of the month, I believe. So you could maybe fairly easily make both. You're gonna have, or I recommend that you have 3 of the character anyway. So to make 2 of the max luck, might as well. Alright, so that was Doraemon. Now let's look at everybody else. Whoops. Alright, now let's look at everybody else. And then, here is Nobita, and then he's also always been available every time the Doraemon collaboration has come out. And he's usually not as good as Doraemon. But yes, stats are low again. He is Fire Bounce with no gravity barrier. He's got the Mancer Slayer and the Samurai Slayer. And then those are passive in him, so he can put that into his bump combo as well. He's got the Scramble Laser bump combo, which is easy to use. It fills the screen. And then a Tackle Strike Shot. He is not so great, I would say. For me, for example, I have the max lux of Izanami and Ashura, who are also Fire, Null, Gravity Barrier characters. So I really do not need this guy. So very low priority, I think. And then starting from next week, I think, we'll be able to actually make the max luck of this guy. If it's super duper easy to do, maybe I'll make the max luck of him, but yeah, again, low priority, I would say. Okay, and then starting from this collaboration, we will get Tsuneo, Giant, and Shizuka as well. And that was pretty funny, actually, when they were announcing it on the news show. Even the MCs, they were laughing, because it's just funny to think of these characters as like fighting in Monster Strike. Anyway, this is Tsuneo, and then of Nobita, Giant, and Tsuneo, I think this guy's the most interesting. He will be the one that I'm most interested in making the max luck of. But he's Water, Pierce, no Gravity Barrier, no Wind. So that already makes him good for Kain, the Impossible quest. Speed is very good. His other 2 stats not so much, but he is a speed type, so can't be helped. He's got a laser plus homing strike shot, which is fine. The reason to use him, I would say, is the energy burst. This is the same as Nirai Kanai, which can do really good damage if you can get it into a weak point of a boss. However, when you are using him, I would concentrate on using him as a support character. I would not, base all of my damage around this guy, or build a team around this guy. Yeah, put him on your team as a support character to, help get off the bump combos of your other characters. But also keep in the back of the mind that you have this energy burst ready to go. So yeah, he could be pretty good. I am very close to finishing the max luck of Bishamonten, who is another Pierce with no gravity barrier, water type. But even after I finish Bishamonten, I'm probably going to use Tsuneo. He'll be my first water max luck with that sling style null ability combination. And because his speed is so high, he will be useful. Okay, next up is Giant. And then when they first announced his abilities, I wasn't very interested in him. But then I saw his stats, and I was like, okay, maybe I like this guy after all. But very high stats, easily the best, I would say, of all of the Doraemon characters. But HP is tank status, attack is very good, he is a power type, so well over 30,000 with the gauge, and speed is actually respectable for a power type. He's almost as fast as Izanami, if that gives you any indication. But he is a wood type, pierce, no warp. And then, yeah, I don't have any max lux with that element, sling style, null ability combination. So that actually might be worth it to me to make this max luck. And actually thinking about like Doom, for example, there are damage walls in there. So the slow speed will actually be a benefit in that mission. He also has the Demon Slayer, and those guys are everywhere. And then he's got the Sokol Jikara, which gives him attack up if your HP is below 50%, I think. So yeah, that's even more damage to him. That's good. Critical luck skill, that's pretty great. And then the bump combo is the same as Hodai. It's the expanding wave, which actually I'm not a big fan of, but it's decent. It's decent. Pretty good for a drop monster. And then Strike Shot is the extra damage in a boss's weak point, which is pretty good for him because he is a Pierce. So yeah, this guy's pretty good. Maybe second priority after Suneo, but yeah, very interested in making the max look of this guy too. Okay, and then last we have Shizuka. And yeah, in the news show where they were announcing all of these characters, they announced Suneo and Giant, and I was like, oh man, if they don't announce a Shizuka, you know, I'm gonna flip some tables. But they did announce Shizuka, so that made me happy. She is Light Element, Bounce with Null Damage Wall, Null Wind. So that's a nice double null. And then Regen. This is a very rare ability, and she might be the first drop monster with the ability. And then that gives you 2000 HP every turn. And that's twice as much as a Mend Ableberry, the S++. So that's pretty crazy. And this works really well in stages where every character has a separate life bar. Because if she loses all her HP and becomes a ghost, with that regen ability, she can come back like automatically for free. So that's really, really cool. And then she has a Blast Bump combo, so she'll be a good support to your other characters. And then a Speed and Power Up Strike Shot. So yeah, pretty basic there, but always useful. And yeah, she could be a good max luck for Kain. If you did not have another max luck for Kain, you could certainly use her. Or Suneo, actually. And then, of that Prisoner Impossible series, Kain was one of my top picks to make the max luck of, so... yeah, these are some valuable characters to have the max luck of. And then Shizuka, she is, I don't know what you call it, like a mission character. You know, fulfill different missions in order to get drops of her. So definitely look at that. I'll put a link to Scott Knack's video. He goes into more detail about how to, you know, get the max luck of Shizuka, and some other information about the Doraemon collaboration. So yeah, that is the Doraemon collaboration. Just a quick look at the characters. Okay, next, let's look at some of the new additions to the game from the update. And then we'll go to the library first. I think the first quest of note here is Bishamonten. I would say maybe the best max luck to make of that second Impossible series, so good to see her in there. And then here is Light Muramasa and Dark Murasame. And yeah, these last two quests, these are kind of a long, convoluted thing in order to get the Light Murasame here, or Dark Muramasa. And they used to be strong characters, but not so much anymore. But you can play these quests and then get tickets, and then hopefully get the light or dark tickets so that you can play those high-level quests. If you have never made the max luck of these before, it might be worth your time, but I'm going to guess not. It's a lot of plays through these quests in order to get enough tickets, and the tickets have very low drop rates, so I don't know. Yeah, the characters aren't great. Instead of Light Murasame, you should make Hikaru Genji. And then instead of Dark Muramasa, you should make maybe Kanan, or oh, Babel, of course. Yeah, Babel from the Tower of Champions. So yeah, forget about those two guys, I would say. But Bishamonten, definitely make. And then, this is also kind of exciting, but if you go to the free quests, we can see that the all of the 5 temples are available free once a day, once per mission. So this is kind of crazy. This is like 5 times more than what we had before, typically. The thing that was annoying for me, though, was having to change my team members every time, you know, I go into a different one of these elements. So what I've been doing lately, actually, is I set up my teams so that I have 5 temple teams ready to go at all times. So there's red, blue, green, light, and dark. That does eat up a lot of slots in my, my game here. But I still have 3 that are left over. And I'm going to reach rank 300 pretty soon, so I'll get another one. So yeah, that's something, I guess. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about the new updates. But yeah, have fun with the Doraemon collaboration. Make as many Max Lux as you feel, patient enough to do. And then work on Bishamonten. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.